on a typical day, our Holstein cows are consuming over 120 pounds of feed daily. On a dry matter basis, that's about 60 pounds. Corn silage is what the main focus of our diets, as our most Midwest dairy diets. Corn silage offers us high energy, nutrient values. It's high yield tonnage per acre for the producer, as well as it's very palatable. Dairy cows actually love it. The second forage that we typically feed is haylage. Now haylage is, on dairy farms, is typically from 100% alfalfa. And the reason we feed haylage, again, it's very palatable, but it's very high in protein. So it's a perfect complement to corn silage. With our energy from corn silage, the protein from haylage, makes it an ideal combination. Most dairies, and we here at the Dairy Center the same way, our forages were about 2/3 corn silage, about 1/3 haylage. It's surprising to a lot of people that we actually feed straw in our dairy diets. Now the nutrient value of straw is almost zero, but the reason we feed straw is to get for the cud chewing and to get a good rumen mat inside. So consequently, we feed Canadian wheat straw, and the reason we feed wheat straw versus oat straw or barley straw is that wheat straw tends to float. It weighs less, it's more hollow to form that rumen mat. Dairy cows have often been referred to as great recyclers, as we do feed byproducts from many different industries. A lot of times you'll see cottonseed, distiller's grain from the ethanol industry. This happens to be corn gluten, and we feed corn gluten as a byproduct of the corn syrup industry. And the reason for corn gluten, we get some of the energy advantages from corn, but we also get a much higher protein value. Again, very palatable feed. It's actually corn. The corn we feed in the dairy cow's diet, we actually grind it very, very fine. It almost looks like a powder, which on itself would not be very palatable, or cows wouldn't like it in this form. However, when we grind it to this form and we utilize the straw for it to float on the rumen mat, we're able to get more surface area exposed to the rumen bugs, rumen microorganisms, so the digestibility is very high when we grind it to this. The last pile here is a mixture of our protein, a vitamin, and mineral mix. Again, to sustain the level of production that our dairy cows do today, we need to have a protein level in the diet of around 18%. The two primary proteins that we're feeding here at the Dairy Center, you can see one is roasted beans. By roasting the beans, it preserves them. They're not broken down in the rumen. They pass to the lower digestive tract and are digested in the small intestine. The other feed is linseed meal. A lot of farms feed soybean meal. We happen to feed linseed meal. It's also in here. There's some rendered byproducts from the hog industry, as well as the primary minerals would be potassium, calcium, and phosphorus.